Roy Wood Jr. has graced us with his presence. Those of you who have been rooting for him, I literally recorded every one of your shows when you were on the Daily Show. Made sure I
Oh,
hit
thank you.
play, give you
That
them
old guest
extra
so sweet.
algorithms.
Thank you. Give me
Yeah,
that bump, baby. Give me that
no.
bump.
We gotta play. We gotta play the game right. We gotta watch, and then we gotta record, and then we gotta hit play.
Now, I thank you for that. I don't know if we hadn't talked since then. Two of those four episodes for me that week were two of the highest rated episodes since Trevor left. If we're
I
just
knew
counting
that.
single episodes since Trevor left, I have two of the top three rated
I
episodes.
knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
So I'm thankful. I'm
Yeah, nah,
thankful to you.
and then following that White House Correspondents dinner, I was like, come on through. And that thing you were thinking, I was so proud. It was like, I know your family must be proud. I was sitting there like I'm looking at my little brother do some
You
amazing
know, I didn't
thing.
tell my mama that I was going to give her a shout out, right? And I thought about it during the like walkthrough. I was like, my mom was part of the script. And I was like,
Yes.
you know what? Maybe should put the camera on. Hey, can you move my mama from that table to this table? Because I think it's a better angle. And then, but no, it was cool. It was cool, especially considering that my mother is my number one fan. Like, it's so much you and I don't know about each other, but when I started comedy, me and my mama didn't talk. Like, because you're 19 and you trying to explain to a college educator,
I was gonna say your
yeah,
mom's a teacher. Yeah, she's a professor.
listen, I know you value education, but you know what, Joyce? I mean, tell these jokes in Dothan and get drunk, and get paid in whiskey. I might graduate, I might not, I don't know. But once I started making better grades in school while I was doing stand up, my mom, even when she didn't agree with comedy, because like, I don't understand why you're doing this, but your grades are good. I don't want you sleeping in the bus station. So here's a car. And my mom put it, I had to catch the payments, but my mom put a down payment on my first road car, 2000 Ford Focus, 2001 Ford Focus. And like, that's what really started my journey. So even when she wasn't completely understanding, my mother has been supportive. So to go from that to just, you know, chilling with Kamala and Joe Biden backstage before an event, that's a dope 25-year arc.
Yes. Oh man. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, that you were so comfortable. Were you nervous? Because I feel like you know how you know somebody's a star. You know, like people are awesome, but the rest of the world hadn't caught up yet. To me, it's like it was a no brainer that you should be the one to take over for Trevor, not just because you were there, but your skill level. Do you know what I'm saying? It's sickening.
Thank you.
And now it's like, yes, heir
I don't
apparent.
I don't know about nervous. I was more angry than anything because you get annoyed with the whole. It's just like, what, man, if y'all gonna hate me, then hate me. Come on, let's get it over with. Like that, I like, you know what line was going through my head as I was walking up to the podium was Willie D from Mind playing tricks on me. Hooked a left in the Popeyes and bailed out quick. If it's going down, let's get this over with. Whatever it's gonna be, let's do it. I done ran these jokes for a month in every comedy club you can name. I know where the laughs are. Y'all might not laugh because y'all ain't regular people like the good folks that come out to a comedy show. But I'm ready. And the other thing that's weird about the correspondence dinner is that you're sitting like I'm sitting there for 2 hours watching just people eat and mingle, and you're looking out into the crowd and you just see Kellyanne Conway and Chrissy Teigen and then Lester Holt and then Bill Barr. And it's just the most random mix of people. One of them Vanderpump white folks was in there too. I think I know that person.
A
So
Kardashian here or there.
two
Yeah.
property brothers, it's
Okay.
just weird. And you're sitting there and you're trying to remember your material and make sure you don't forget this joke and this angle of the joke and all of that stuff. And then also Jill Biden is in your ear asking you, so what's it like in Alabama? And did you have fun? And what's your favorite spot? And God bless her. She's just making small talk.
Right.
But this
She
is
was like,
literally the most important night of my career right now, dog. And I really need some silence. But I don't want to be rude to you. So I'm just going to grin and nod. But I'm not listening. I can't. Um, I just think that it's your job as a performer to prepare and have something decent to say. I felt like I had that. And the people who know will know. I don't know if people are going to laugh, but also I just went into it thinking, there's no way for anyone to, there is no level of hatred in this room that will change me being earnest because I'm here to represent the people who aren't in this room.
That's right.
So for as long as I'm doing it like that, then I always got somewhere to go to. I got somewhere I can go tour. I'm from Birmingham. I still need to be able to show face. So
That's
I
right.
can't come up here and sell out and not talk about what's real.
That was, that was the through line in Wanda's comedy as well. Like, this is what we depend on, people who tell jokes for a living, to tell the truth, to be the one place that we can go to get not all of the shenanigans, but some sense of purpose, and like to center us around what's important. To Wanda's line, y'all worried about drag queens, it's the guns. That ain't no drag queen showing up in the school with a gun. I was like, it
Mm-hmm.
was the most perfect line, because it's like, that's not the problem, from
Yep.
the from your standpoint, because I didn't factor in that they weren't normal people, because I feel like everybody's is a people, right? And so your job is to just be you, so that folk can put their hair down. So where was the friction or the hatred that you were talking about that made you angry?
It was caring about the approval of people in the room and then realizing, oh, wait, I don't need your approval. Matter of fact, all y'all, I ain't studying none of y'all. All y'all can kiss my ass. Half of y'all ain't even trying to do the right thing in this country. So you know what? I'm gonna just go up here and say exactly what's on my mind. And then from that came the focus. Like the first joke where me and the writers, we were trying to figure out what the first joke should be. And then, myself and Christiana Mbakwe Medina, who used to be a Daily Show writer, um, she and I were talking. She was my head writer. And like, we should just punch Biden in the mouth out the gate. Go at him do a joke about him. And then you're free to say whatever you want about anybody else because you've shown that you're not scared to go at him. And in the weeks leading up, you're manicuring every syllable and every comma, and I don't know what to say. And I don't want to. You know what, man? I don't care if y'all don't like me. These are jokes. I've done them in front of regular folks, and they laughed, and I trust them more.
That's right.
Y'all a bunch of politicians and lawyers and media types and CEOs and celebrities. Y'all ain't in touch with what the hell people are going through. Not at that, in my opinion. At least that's what I
I agree
told
with you.
myself.
Yeah, no, but you were right, and I feel like comedians, because you do travel the world, travel the country for sure. You're in places in Middle America. You get a sense of what's happening. Where are we right now as we lead into into 2024? You got Ice Cube coming out for no reason all of a sudden, and a lot of other commentary that is kind of voter suppression. It feels like telling people not to vote. Yes, where are we? There seems to be more friction around CRT, and Florida's flirting, like whatever DeSantis is doing in Florida is like, are you? I mean, you taking on Disney? This is weird. Um,
DeSantis a wild boy. I
yeah,
don't know how you gonna beat Trump, in the primary. I think what's really interesting to watch is how CNN, how other networks adjust to CNN's conservative pivot. So if CNN is giving Trump a town hall, which they did, and now they're going to give Nikki Haley a town hall, then you can only assume Ron DeSantis going to get his town hall sooner or later this summer as well. How will MSNBC shift? Because I really feel like a lot of these cable news networks, they're all about ratings and numbers right now. That's all they care about. And if Fox News is the most watched because it's watched by conservatives, I feel like cable news shifting to that is an overcorrection because number one, Fox News is the most watched because they don't have no real competition. Newsmax ain't no comp. Like you can't. So you're trying to compete with someone that's not even your equal, in my opinion. So I think there's going to be more coverage of this terrible messaging. There's going to be more exposure, more opportunities for
Mhm.
people with terrible policies to be given a podium and a microphone and be given the attention of millions of Americans. And I think it's going to make 2024 that much more impactful because,
And
you know, to
dangerous.
well,
Yeah.
because to the whole thing with Don Lemon, right? The thing with Don Lemon, this is the point I was trying to make during the dinner, and I don't even think I nailed it, but the idea that you can say whatever you want about how Don Lemon act off air, fine. But on air, he gave voice to marginalized people. He gave pushback to guests who came on talking crazy. So if you're not going to have that represented to some degree on air, when you're putting on DeSantis and when you're putting on Nikki Haley, then y'all part of the okey doke on the people, as far as I'm concerned.
It's like the time Oprah lost her number one spot when the Jerry Springer crowd, the Ricky Lake and the Jenny Jones, and it got really wild and they were throwing chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got that in the Housewives. But when that became daytime television, right, everybody started doing that, and Oprah refused to. Right, she was like,
Yeah.
and then her ratings dropped, and then she kept with, I'm going to empower and inspire, and then people got tired of the junk because there was a beacon. What you're saying is there's no beacon. There's nobody saying, you know what, somebody's got to hold the door. Is it MSNBC? Is it? I mean, and the
It could
ratings are
be
so
somebody
low.
within CNN. I mean, I think Laura Coates is great. I think Abby Phillip is great. They have people. It's just a matter of, are you going to let them do what needs to be done on air? And I think as we see that, because when we talk about the election, it's also about how are these messages being presented to people,
Yeah,
because that influences voters as well.
even as you're talking about that, seeing Fox may be the most watched, but we're still talking about 3.5 million on a good night. They rarely hit four. That's not a lot of people. No one's
Correct.
really watching cable news. We're watching the
300
clips of
million in
cable
this
news,
country.
right? So it's already a failed platform. It's already a failed outlet because I feel in many ways it has devolved to breaking news and it's like Chicken Little, all of it. And I feel like none of it's very effective. Most of my students, my journalism students, are getting their news from like TikTok and social media. They're not tuning into this anyway. So maybe there's an opportunity in this space where we can. Nobody has to have a plug in, unless it's the Daily Show, because we got to watch that if
Yeah,
you're on it. Are you going? Are you? We only have a few minutes left. Are you? What's happening with the Daily Show? What are they gonna
we
do?
down bad. Everything down bad because of the
I
strike.
know, because
So
okay. So
we
are
can't even
they
have
not talking
like
to you
I.
off mic?
Nah, ain't
Who's
nothing there.
back?
I'll get them credit. They playing the game straight up. You ain't supposed to be having no negotiations and chit chat. And knowing Paramount and a lot of these media companies, there's still more layoffs to be had. So whoever negotiating to replace Trevor might not even be the person that's still there when it's So we don't know. Also, the strike is going to be huge because if these networks have to pay the writers more and they have to pay the actors more, they're going to cut corners. So I think late night itself is going to change. I think the aesthetic of late night, the way late night looks, is going to change. And it has to change because, to your point, everybody's not getting their news from one central place visually. I feel like part of why the Daily Show worked for so long, especially under Jon Stewart, is that most everybody got their real news from something that looked similar. Whereas now, one person may be on TikTok. I read Substack. Shout out to Phil Lewis. Like, I subscribe to his Substack. That's how I get most of the news that I get every day. It's not even articles or whatever. And anything else that's good is behind a paywall. So if the way we get news has changed, then the visual vehicles through which we parody it have to evolve as well.